Okay, so we can officially open the budget meeting for the Facein Select Board for January 27th. 2025 at the Robert Vassar Town Hall. I don't know how we want to handle this, so I asked Josh to come because we had a conversation about doing some other work that would involve the budget, which would be to have some subcontractors to finish up the FEMA work for us. And then that would allow the road crew to continue to do their summer work.
Not all the FEMA work, just Dunbar Hill.
Yeah.
That was our main concern. We still had some stone lining on Smith Road and sharpshooters, but it's a much larger job on Dunbar Hill.
So are they not going to allow FEMA to reimburse us for those two other roads too, until they're done?
I believe they have to be complete.
So those are,
I'm
this
not,
isn't complete?
I'm no longer clear. I thought they wouldn't until they were complete, but I asked when we met with our PDMG, he said, no, you can work on them and you can submit them. I don't know if that means that they'll reimburse us at some point for work done to date, so I'm a little unclear.
Oh, get it done.
Yeah.
I think we need to get it done as soon as possible because
That's, yeah,
Right, so anyway, that will play into the budget, because we had not budgeted for that kind of work, and I guess we'll need a discussion on, you know, what we think we need to budget for that.
Right, that would have to go out to bid, I believe anyway.
so
Yeah.
honestly, are we budgeting for that, or are we just trying to? That's more of a cash flow thing, isn't it?
Well,
Cause we didn't budget for any of that overage. The 600,000 or whatever. you put
Right.
Underneath the line there, it would just be part of that in a way, wouldn't
it
it?
would be just the cash flow.
I mean, it could be interest.
Yeah.
More interest, because our deficit would be bigger,
mhm,
true?
Well, the cash flow.
Could be.
Right, so the
So it'd be
interest
more
on it,
interest, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
but the cost wouldn't be in the budget.
I wouldn't think so.
okay,
I
well,
think we should probably get on it, I mean.
Alright.
You know, get on, so we can pick and get on someone's schedule, because it won't be an emergency anymore,
right,
only ours. Right? They're not gonna come to the aid of all those people.
Yeah.
coming into the house.
Definitely.
yeah. So I guess then what we need is to authorize Josh to go ahead and proceed with hiring subcontractors to do that work. And also, we wanted to talk a little bit about the summer work as well.
Yeah, if we're gonna look for a fourth person for.
We approved in the budget the normal schedule, right? It's like from May to September. So I think that's what we're gonna work with this year. But we need to get on trying to find that person sooner than later, so. That's something we should consider doing as well.
If we can find somebody.
Yeah,
I mean, to keep in mind though, like, if you found someone that was, able to do that in entry level, maybe, it's worthwhile to make it a bit longer position.
Right,
If you find the right person.
Right,
make it the full person.
does it need to be, do they have to have CDL?
I thought we said
I think-
no,
I
not for
think
this
no.
first round.
We're talking about the same things Mike did, and maybe even plowing the intersections, I think it's mostly the winter work, what do we
Yeah.
have to do, because sometimes you lot.
And- We can do in-house CDL stuff if that ever,
It's the person that's capable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can get them their CDL.
yeah,
so we'd be good with looking for we're starting to look for that person, which Maddie, I guess we'd have to start the advertising.
Mhm.
And then coordinate with Josh on the interviewing and that kind of stuff. And then go ahead with the subcontracting work for Dunbar Hill and wherever else we're gonna need it.
yeah,
Right, we need to put together a bid for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
Are you guys gonna have to pay haulers again? Do you anticipate that being the same amount as what happened? Cause that might have to go out.
I think whoever subs it out would haul their own, manage their own hauling.
I mean, do we need to haul?
More
for
gravel.
Just, yeah.
For the other road,
Gotcha. No, I think the other roads are set, right, for as far as gravel?
no. No, we finished up Dunbar Hill, there's still spots on Stagecoach, Ben Basin,
That's not a lot of, it's not a lot of ground.
What's that?
Airport or something.
Airport needed some.
Yeah,
And honestly, I'd like to put that 3/4 inch granite down North Basin Road from at least our shop down to the blacktop.
But that's not a FEMA thing.
That's not a
just road
FEMA thing.
services, right?
That's just,
I'm thinking kind of like right now, what cash flow for our budget.
Sure, I was just mostly thinking whether or not they needed the material to get the FEMA work done. Material that couldn't come out of our.
yeah, we don't have enough in our pit to do it.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking that might have to be put out to bid too, because no longer qualifies emergency.
mhm.
Do you know what
Sort
we-
of skated by not doing it because we were past the emergency. Patty put out an ad. Just to cover the fact that we didn't put out a bid.
Right.
We do it per load.
So Sarah, do you know what we spent on, we imported gravel and then put it down on Dunbar Hill?
Mhm.
Say half as much as we needed, is that right? That's what I was told.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than half of what,
What we need, so do we, can there any way to figure out what that amount is?
Of
So
what we
the-
paid the haulers or what material we put down, what?
Yeah, what we paid the haulers and the material.
Well, we paid haulers in total, we paid them about 42,000, a little more.
And then we
And
put it down.
At this point, and we put it down, and at this point, I haven't gotten to the Dunbar Hill, so I don't know how much of that was for Dunbar.
I'm just trying to figure, okay, is an additional 60,000 in cash flow, is that the interest on 60? Or just, I'm not trying to figure out the dollar cost, just. Just so we don't like, look bad.
Right. Well,
Sorry.
between the material and the labor, it might be 60. I can run,
Because I would be willing to up the interest budget based on that, you know, make sure we have enough, oh, we have 15?
I think that was
Is that
the-
15?
For the interest,
Uh,
I think that's the way.
or 15, estimated 6 months at 500,000.
It won't be much, but if this is our chance to make it look right.
Under administrative, so one of the first expense sections, line 59.
Got it. Six, seven. They could go up with. Couple thousand, right?
I think we should add to that. Line and that amount.
Thousand, but we do it. You got 2,200, I think. On 60,000.
Probably,
What?
I think another couple thousand
Yeah,
would be
that's right.
generous.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
I think it'd be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really just covering 60,000. Are you thinking that's covering the contractor to do the work plus the haulers?
Um. I can see it costs more than 60,000 to bid it out.
You were thinking that in material, right? I got the other day.
Dunbar Hill's gonna be 2 foot minus with foot minus on top of it and that ditch line to stabilize those banks.
I was just talking top coating, that's what we were talking,
Yeah.
not even the dishes.
Okay.
We're gonna go more than that,
Hmm.
we have no clue.
Mhm.
We could we could raise interest by 5,000, we wouldn't be bad,
Yeah,
honestly. But perhaps not cheap, takes time. You don't.
It's all gonna be
you don't
placed in
get-
there.
You don't get much in a truckload. that's for
No.
sure.
And time hauling it takes longer because they have to load those with an excavator individually, because you can't just dump them into the truck with a loader.
And you could unload them that way almost too.
They should come out, but it's on a big hill, so you gotta be real careful, and the ditches are deep, you don't wanna wind up in it with a truck.
I want to do a chase one of those. You could probably put 5 grand into that thing and not. Look foolish.
How much additional gravel do you think we are looking at outside of? The FEMA stuff?
Outside of FEMA stuff, I mean, I could eat up 3,000 yards on North Basin Road.
Do we have a list of projects? I mean,
It's more routine maintenance at this point, trying to ditch everything that needs to be ditched, which is pretty much every road in town.
Well, the thing
No,
about
I
getting
don't
the
think
gravel though,
that's-
is it's supplanting that 2R stuff makes it so much better.
Mm-hmm.
but we should need a plan, and we can only do so much in the summer, we can't just.
Right, and
Willy-nilly.
we wanted to do, before the flood last year, we wanted to do North Basin Road and re-gravel it with better quality gravel and, chloride it and roll it. Just so it would hold better and it wouldn't get so slimy when it gets wet.
Is that one of the reserve?
That would come out of the reserve.
Yeah, yeah, and we didn't probably use much of that reserve. This
So-
year, did we?
The road construction reserves at 114,000. 5 of which is earmarked for the gravel pit analysis because of the ARPA.
Did we use much last year out of the reserve?
I don't know.
I bet we did, I mean, if it's all FEMA. Right, I'm
That's
gonna
probably
guess.
No, that's what one's on to do other things.
I mean, I could probably 6 weeks worth of time to spend in the pit this year between winter sand and making gravel for the not so high traveled roads, the secondary roads. Just the main routes, we'd like to put a little better quality.
That's the stuff you put on the intersection right there by Big Basin and Center Face.
Yeah, they came down off of sharpshooters.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar. That might have been something out of McCullough. It was a
Gray or something.
1.5 inch granite gravel mix. The 3/4 inch granite from Northeast seems to work really well.
Yeah.
all right, so we good on that? Sarah, yeah,
Yes, yeah, so
Okay.
20,000.
I think so, yeah.
so Josh, if you wanna leave or have to leave, and you're welcome to come tomorrow again, by the way, if you have any report to. For the select board officially.
Nothing,
No, just
nothing real
following
new. Fixing trucks.
Yeah.
All right, all right,
I'll hang around for a little bit.
okay, all right. So the next part then is we need to get the budget finalized so that we can sign the warrant for the,
We can do that tomorrow
Tomorrow.
night.
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We need to finish the
Budget,
budget
yeah.
to do that, so
The only other
Sign
thing,
the thing tomorrow.
yeah,
the articles,
yeah, you'll sign all that stuff.
Yeah.
tomorrow.
yep.
The only other thing I had was about the website, if we wanted to do that this year or not. The
Right.
website for the budget,
Oh, we didn't decide, we didn't put any money aside for that?
No,
no,
Okay. Want to talk about that first?
yeah, sure,
Okay,
I mean, if.
it needs an update, right?
It does need an
Yeah.
update.
And
Sarah, did that usually come through like on computer
Yeah, we get
software?
computer expenses, so right now that line's budgeted at 14,000, which is, we usually come in right around there. Last year it was just over 13,000.
so that would be like computer expenses.
Yeah.
Anyway.
560.
And Darlene said like 500 for training and then 1,500 for the. Like actual update, I don't know if the 500 comes from like the training line or it all comes through computer or,
Mhm.
It's only 500 to upgrade.
No, she said 500 for training and 1,500.
Oh, okay.
And then-
And
Then-
1,500, what's the other?
Yeah, 1,500 for like the update,
Do we update the website ourselves?
yeah.
Okay.
But part of it is that she changed over like a long time ago, however it was maintained. She did half of the department, so like you upload stuff from the select board differently than you upload for like the
Yeah.
conservation committee. So it's like super confusing and
So, yeah, she
so
lives
she just
out,
wants to update everything to make it the same, so then it's easier to update.
Yeah.
And then also just make it so then,
she does hours, and she's made it so we can, much easier for
Yeah.
us to do it ourselves.
right, like the old way is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
coding,
Because I see stuff on there that's pretty old, and I know it's really hard to change the officers, I know some of those
yeah, like.
done, and, I think it's kind of our face in a way.
Mm-hmm.
People
Yeah.
call about it too a lot of
Yeah.
times,
It's an easier way to
Yeah.
update the officers,
yeah,
because we've got the officers in so many places on the website that it's hard to be sure you're getting
Yeah.
all of them when you do
Yeah.
update it.
right, I have a list of just like stuff that could not be, there's like,
Like, if the officers.
shouldn't have to be 5 steps to get to one thing. I think it's just, yeah, it's,
I was really excited being below the budget of Whisker, so really a little nervous about it, but I think that really we're talking now about being probably
Less than
7 or 8 thousand higher than last year, which is pretty
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 decent.
minuscule
Yeah.
considering we're spending
Yeah.
money on interest for FEMA.
Yeah.
Right?
So we put this in? I think
I,
we need to update that.
I would be for that, you know,
Yeah,
we got some good energy.
make it so that it can be right, it's easier to upkeep.
so we're not gonna add the full amount, we're gonna bring it up to 15,000? Is that what I'm hearing?
no, 16.
16 for the web,
16, so an extra 2,000 in the 56000 line. For the website upgrade and whatever training is involved.
Okay. All right,
You guys are agreeing?
sounds like we're good with that.
And then the only thing to go over are the donations.
Oh, that's right.
So we did get something from Good Beginnings of Central Vermont and from Green Mountain Transit. So those are their requests, their level funds from last year.
You got one from,
Good Beginnings of Central Vermont
okay,
and Green Mountain Transit.
gotcha.
And we haven't heard from People's Health and Wellness Clinic. Maddie checked Patty's email to make sure she didn't, nothing came through there, nothing did, and I haven't gotten anything, so I don't know what.
Surprising, New Mountain Transit.
we
We
got,
did get something.
Oh, you did get,
yeah,
Yeah,
oh, okay, I misunderstood that, all
Can
right.
you remind me what Stewart MRV is again?
that's the one that they sort of take care of the local, sites.
Yeah, that was
Garbage cleanup,
Eric Friedman's.
Eric Slush Fund?
Eric
So,
Slush.
but that's part of the matter of that.
Well,
It's
it's
part of-
not,
And not,
It's
though,
not.
but it should be.
and I think there, and you guys probably know this better, hasn't there been some dissension about who came up with that? Whether it was
The rent?
or the chamber, I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah,
The chamber came up with that and, I mean, just launched it on its own.
Mhm.
And it's really, it's more of the paths
you're right.
responsibility.
Well, that's what I feel, there's like a lot of commingling of asks. Donations, like it's, the path, it's not the planning district, but then again, they do give
But the-
some money
But they're all kind of the same
entity.
scope.
Well, right, they're all working on the same thing.
Yeah.
And even, the rec district. It's
Well,
in there
and
somehow,
and the Conservation Commission.
right, it's in there somehow,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
gotta figure that out.
I think the only thing they proposed to do for us was at Woods Hill. Do some cleanup up there, but I don't know specifically what.
Yeah.
What that is.
Do all the towns give equally to that Stewart MRV?
Yes. It's the same ask from each town.
Yeah,
And the majority of the work actually happens associated with the pad.
Right,
Like, 'cause they clean up, the Lew's swim hole and a couple other places, but it's like, that's the, it seems like a duplication of effort.
that river path falls under what?
they're their own entity.
I thought they were part of an organization.
No, I'm pretty sure
They're
they're their
about
own
the same
entity,
thing.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they get involved with a lot of other places like planning district and that kind of thing, but.
You know, so one of the things I think in the future we should look at is, you know, these people must have like a financial statement, right?
Right.
Donations, where we spend our money. I don't think it would be too much to ask for that,
They should come in and present that all to us.
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's like, it's no different than like the yearbook at Harwood. We stopped doing it when they started, you know, sending emails for advertising. The kids used to come in and practice selling and do, I mean, it's part of the job.
Right.
You know, I think that we should, you know, look at that next year,
Mhm.
right? I
Mhm.
mean, a lot of these people do come in, right? I mean.
Right, like even
do
the rest
se-
did.
do the seniors come in?
So they all send, most of these people will send in letters with requests, and I have them all
Right, no,
here. if you guys-
And they all usually say that they would,
Yeah.
you know, would come for a presentation if you wanted.
Most of the ones on this sheet don't come in. But like Mad River Path
Right,
and
the,
Mad
the,
River
the big
Ambulance, they
ones, for
came
sure,
in,
yeah.
yeah.
But I
And
think
you guys talk
even
about
from
it.
these people, you know, I mean, let's face it, Mad River Stewards is $7,500, $8,000 request.
Wow, I think
Mad
this
River
year,
Valley Seniors, that's pretty big. You know, it's not like the 200, 300, 400,
Mhm.
it's a pretty big ask.
Mhm. Eric did come in here initially, right?
not this year.
No.
He's back.
He's not there.
Yeah,
That he has come in before, but he didn't come in this year.
Yeah. and he's dealing with culture cases and all that.
So maybe we start looking at this like in after town meeting in June, July, and just saying, okay, these people are gonna come again,
That's how it's doing now.
rather than, you know,
You can spread them out so then they can come here and there too.
well, and ask them to bring their. I mean, they don't run out of a check, I mean, they run out of a checkbook, but they don't put money in and spend it until it's gone, they have an idea how they're spending it,
Mhm.
I think.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure every senior spends it on lunches and breakfasts and,
Mhm.
well, they're pretty cheap, because I think there's a lot of volunteer going on there, but I
Right,
think we should know.
that's usually what they include in the letter. And the letter goes in the town report.
For seniors,
No, for all of these.
all of these?
Pretty much all of these, yeah.
Really?
This is what we've gotten from everybody.
You have to flip it, can you? It says, you know, it says what they do and the things that they care for and stuff like that. And this is, what I think, good for the town report. What I'm wondering about is Central Vermont Economic Development, like they have a,
It's passed on that.
right? President and CEO of Vermont Central Vermont Home Health. And we give to them, right? But I think it'd be interesting to see what they. Kind of like the ambulance, right? They're pretty healthy,
Mhm.
right? I mean, they're healthy compared to the fire department.
Right, yeah, I would think.
Well, maybe we just make it that anyone that is over some amount, $1,000, $2,000, needs to present and present their financial.
Yeah, I think that 200 and 300 is really, I mean, you waste their time, it's really. a true
Anything over
true
2,000.
donation. It's not part of the fund, yeah.
You know, if we go back a little bit, Mike, we had the big askers present at the tri-town meeting, remember?
Yeah.
So we would, all the three towns would meet, and Josh is thinking of doing that again, but so. The people like Central Vermont Home Health and the ones asking for a large amount always came, did a presentation. Cause they know, not only ask us, they ask the other towns as
Right.
well, so.
Right.
We could,
That would
we
be good
could
to
set
have
a
for that
limit.
meeting,
yeah,
you know. It may make that meeting 2 meetings, but
yeah, exactly. And it'll be Ron's fault.
we should, because you know, it does seem like there's, you know, some of these are getting, they're
Yeah,
getting big and they're getting overlapping.
yeah. Yeah, I think we kind of fell into the trap of, if they asked for the last 10 or 15 years, we don't ask for anything more than the letter, and somebody new coming in would have to come in and present. But, yeah, that's not a bad idea to do that.
But I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
So,
So yes and yes, good
Yes.
beginnings in Green Mountain.
and then no for people's health and wellness, because we
Yeah, we
haven't
don't
seen
have
anything. Okay,
What's this?
we had something else on the budget.
I don't think so.
No,
do you want me to go see where we're at with these
sure.
3 things? Okay. Give me a second.
We'll be right here.
You'll recognize us. Oh, not the budget, it was the rec district.
Oh, yes, the
You
warning.
want to talk about that tonight, the warning?
If, yeah, I guess we should just decide if we're gonna go forward with it and have it on our warning.
Yeah, okay,
Is that trying to bring more town?
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah, I know.
But we have to do it by Australian ballot. Because whenever they did the MOU,
They requested.
they were said that if there was any changes. So what happened is they missed their, it was like January 17th, you would have to have, a petition with like, you know, signatures.
signature,
So that, to like have a article on the warning, but they missed that deadline, and so you guys can decide to have it on the.
It's only trying to get another town in. It's not
Correct,
like
but
spending-
exactly, but what happened is like, when they made the MOU, any changes to this, it had to be voted by every town.
Gotcha.
and I guess Brian Shu, for Wastefield said that they're gonna put an article on, so.
I could see where it's not like it's a money issue.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a, right, that's the tricky part is.
Right.
We're gonna be counting ballots and then it might not happen if more time goes it down.
Mhm.
Just kind of if we don't have another election this year. There would have to be a special election and
Yeah. we
that would
better-
cost money. We're better to just do it now if we're gonna do it.
Yeah. So our financial contribution will stay the same.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we don't have to worry about that something gets in the budget and then we can't use it because more town backs out.
So you would think your contribution would go down a little bit if we get another payer,
You would
if they
think,
join,
yes,
right?
yeah,
But,
I mean,
yeah, they said no.
Well, I could see it benefiting, you know, I mean, it wouldn't just explode their budget to cover the,
Yeah.
I'd have to think about that.
yeah. 'Cause I felt the same way, that you think the budget.
I
would
feel like
be
when
down.
Laura was here, though, when she presented to us, she said if more town joined, like the budget wouldn't go down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which would stop climbing as fast,
Right, and then we can level fund them for 5 years.
right? I mean,
Make a note of
I
that.
think, Mike, you mentioned that's gone up.
Yeah.
Quite a bit in the last 2 years,
Yes.
so, right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think asking for the same amount. Makes it less complicated now, because if Moortown does vote down the whole concept.
Yeah, I mean,
We
it's
haven't
simple
budgeted for anything that we're not gonna use, so,
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
Talking about the
so
electus,
all good to have it on an article?
Yes.
yes, yeah,
All right, so your new budget number, you added $7,818. And the new budget number is 1,000,000.
Hold it. Got it.
All right,
843,877.08. And that's an increase of 0.4%.
Okay. Dollars, that's $8,000,
Yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
you said, 20,
That's-
that's a loan that maybe we won't need.
Right.
well,
I mean,
fingers crossed.
Right, yeah.
Can you send out an electronic copy of the new sheet tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So that's the number we need.
That's the number I need.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Perfect.
you have everything you need then to get the articles put together and. That's good. You're done, good with the budget.
That's good.
We're good with everything. We're good with everything. Oh,
Now that I oversee it, you guys have to defend it.
If you-
Yeah, exactly.
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 haven't got any cheap,
You are just
might be a little under that.
a motion to adjourn. Therefore, good.
Yeah,
What's this?
so that was all we had to cover, so we can like adjourn.
Oh, yeah.
Adjourn.
Yeah.
Motion, I'll second. All in favor?
I-
Aye.